Have you ever wondered what really happened to those black and gold legends that thundered across the screen in Smokey and the Bandit? The ones leaping over bridges, sliding through Georgia dirt, and outsmarting every flashing red light in their path. What if I told you that by the time filming ended, not a single one of those Trans Ams could even drive under its own power? It sounds impossible, almost mythic, but the truth is even stranger. This isn't just a story about a car. It's about how Hollywood turned a simple Pontiac into an icon that outran logic, gravity, and even the company that built it. From fake model years to rocket-assisted stunts, from cars built out of spare parts to paint schemes that redefined cool every detail, hide something you weren't supposed to see. The Bandit's 1977 Trans Am wasn't just a machine. It was a character. It represented rebellion speed and everything outlaw America wanted to believe in. But behind the camera, there was chaos, 4 different cars playing the same role, each one modified, sacrificed, or disguised to sell a fantasy of unstoppable power. So today, we're peeling back the glossy black paint, the screaming chicken decal, and the legend itself. These 20 weird facts will make you see that car and the movie that made it famous in a completely different light. Because sometimes what looks like the truth roaring down the highway is really just movie magic on 4 broken wheels. 20. The year that never was. That sleek 1977. Trans Am you thought you knew it wasn't even from 1977. The cars used in filming were actually 1976 models, disguised to look like the New Year's edition. Pontiac hadn't released the 1977 yet, so the production team improvised, swapping out round headlights for sharp rectangular ones, installing a different grille, and molding a brand new nosepiece. It was automotive illusion on a massive scale. The result was so convincing that even hardcore fans still believed they were watching real 77s. Hollywood had rewritten reality one fender at a time. 19. The Frankenstein Front End. The crew didn't just bolt on new parts. They rebuilt the car's face entirely. Each 1976 body received a grafted front clip and re-engineered lighting system. It was like cosmetic surgery with wrenches and welding torches. And somehow, it worked. The final look was seamless. That fusion of 2 model years blurred the line between authentic and imaginary, setting the stage for an automotive legend that technically never existed. 18. The Hood Scoop. Lie that massive TA 6.6 decal on the hood shouted power, but under the hood it often whispered, pretend. Many of the cars didn't even have the engines the label bragged about. The filmmakers simply needed cars that looked fast, not ones that actually were. What mattered was the roar on screen, not the horsepower on paper. 17. The Horsepower Reality Check. Here's the real shocker. The Bandit's Trans Am had only about 200 horsepower less than a modern family sedan. The illusion of unstoppable speed was pure movie magic, camera tricks, quick cuts, and a whole lot of tire smoke. Hollywood turned an average performer into a mythic beast. 16. The 4-car shell game. There wasn't one Bandit Trans Am. There were 4. A pristine hero car for close-ups, a couple of heavily modified stunt cars, and one destined for destruction. Each served its own role in a cinematic masquerade, identical in appearance, different in purpose. And by the time the camera stopped rolling, none of them could drive anymore. 15. The rocket-powered secret. That famous bridge jump. The one that made audiences gasp as the Trans Am flew across the Mulberry Bridge like it had wings. Let's just say, gravity had a little help that day. The production team reportedly fitted rocket assistance or a hidden launch mechanism beneath the car. The stunt required more lift and thrust than a standard Trans Am could ever produce. When the car landed, it was annihilated, bent frame, collapsed suspension, shattered components. But for a few glorious seconds, it defied physics. A real car flying through the air, powered partly by rockets. 14. The production graveyard. By the end of filming, not a single one of the Bandit's cars was drivable. Every Trans Am had been wrecked beyond repair. Bent chassis, twisted axles, ripped engines. One car was so destroyed, it had to be pushed into place for the final scene. Imagine that the hero car of American rebellion, motionless and broken, pretending to roar off into the sunset. A perfect metaphor for Hollywood magic. It looked alive, even when it wasn't. 13. The paint scheme. Psychology. Black and gold wasn't random. It was a calculated visual weapon. The production tested colors to see what popped on 1970s film stock, and black and gold outshone everything. Black made the car look dangerous and rebellious. Gold added luxury and shine. Together they created a look that screamed outlaw royalty. The combination became so iconic that Pontiac released an official Bandit edition, forever tying that color scheme to freedom, rebellion, and speed. 12. The free car deal. Here's one of Hollywood's smartest gambles. Pontiac gave the production their Trans Ams for free. In exchange, they got the greatest commercial ever made. No ad agency could have done better. Sales skyrocketed, making the Trans Am the car of 1977 and 78. Pontiac's zero-cost bet became a marketing miracle, a story still taught in auto industry circles today. 11. The sales explosion. Before the movie, Pontiac sold 46,000 Trans Ams a year. After Smokey and the Bandit, sales tripled to over 117,000. Dealers couldn't keep up. People walked in asking for the Bandit car. They didn't want just any Trans Am. They wanted that black and gold outlaw with the screaming chicken on the hood. The movie didn't just sell tickets. It sold dreams on 4 wheels. 10. The Honeycomb Heritage. Those distinctive honeycomb wheels that glinted under southern sunlight weren't built for the Bandit's car at all. They were borrowed from the 1976 50th Anniversary Edition Trans Am, repurposed to make the Bandit's ride look futuristic and aggressive. Ironically, the wheels became more famous for Smokey and the Bandit than for the commemorative edition they were meant to honor. Today, when people see honeycomb rims, they don't think Pontiac Anniversary. They think of Burt Reynolds gunning it past a convoy of police cruisers. 9. The Screaming Chicken Legacy. That enormous golden Firebird decal, known as the Screaming Chicken, became one of the most recognizable images in car history. Pontiac had used smaller versions before, but the film made the bird iconic. It stretched across the hood like a set of golden wings ready for flight. Fans loved it so much they started sticking it on other cars, trucks, even lawn mowers. What was once a simple hood ornament became a symbol of rebellion, ego, and swagger, the kind of American excess that defined the late 70s. 8. The CB radio connection. If you remember one thing from the Bandit's Trans Am interior, it's probably that chrome microphone dangling near the dashboard. The CB radio wasn't just a prop, it was a lifeline. In an era when trucker culture ruled pop music and road movies, the CB gave the Bandit his voice. He wasn't just driving, he was communicating, plotting, surviving on the edge of the law. The radio turned the car into an outlaw command center and made millions of fans want one too. 7. The survival myth collectors have spent decades chasing the real Bandit car. The truth, none of them survived intact. Every stunt car was destroyed during filming. What's left are tribute builds, dealer promo cars, and one Trans Am gifted to Burt Reynolds himself, a pristine survivor that never saw a single stunt. The real heroes were crushed, recycled, and immortalized only on celluloid. 6. The engine swap mysteries. Each Bandit car was a patchwork of parts, and sometimes even the engines were swapped. Depending on the stunt, one car might have a reinforced motor, another a lightweight version just for jumps. Some weren't even Pontiac engines at all. Continuity didn't matter. Sound, smoke, and spectacle did. And when the director yelled, cut, the mechanics rolled in, replaced what broke, and sent the car flying again. 5. The final scene disaster. That triumphant final shot, the Bandit driving off into the horizon, was pure cinematic illusion. The car used in that scene was completely dead. Its suspension had collapsed, the transmission was gone, and the engine wouldn't even start. The crew had to push it into frame just to capture the moment. On screen, it looked invincible. In reality, it was a hollow shell its glory spent. There's something poetic about that, a car that gave everything for the story, only to be wheeled into its own legend. 4. The model year deception. This deception went deeper than anyone realized. The cars were all registered as 1976 models, but every movie poster, every credit, every promotional photo proudly said, 1977 Trans Am. Even Pontiac played along because the myth sold better than the truth. The irony that fake 1977 design became so popular, Pontiac copied it for real in later years. The movie car literally reshaped the brand's identity fiction, rewriting fact one frame at a time. 3. The cultural revolution. Before Smokey and the Bandit. The muscle car was dying. The oil crisis, insurance hikes, and emissions laws had drained the life out of Detroit's horsepower dreams. Then came the Bandit, wild, free, and unapologetically fast. The Trans Am became a symbol of rebellion, of the open road of American defiance. It reminded the country what cars were supposed to represent: adventure, risk, and attitude. In its wake came a wave of imitators from the Dukes of Hazzard to Knight Rider, each trying to capture the same outlaw magic. But only one car truly became a star. 2. The Technical Impossibility. Nearly every stunt in the movie broke the laws of physics. The bridge jumps, the drifts, the perfect landings, all impossible for a stock Trans Am. The car's real-world limitations were masked with editing, slow motion, and practical effects so clever they made the absurd believable. The Bandit's car lived in a world where physics could bend to its will, and for 96 minutes, we believed it too. 1. The corporate confusion. Here's the ultimate irony. The car that saved Pontiac wasn't really Pontiac's creation at all. The Bandit's Trans Am, the one that turned a niche model into a pop culture juggernaut, was built almost entirely by Hollywood improvisation. Pontiac handed over a few cars and walked away. They didn't design the modifications, choose the color scheme, or plan the decals. The filmmakers did all that, and in doing so, they accidentally redefined Pontiac's future. When the movie exploded, dealers were overwhelmed by people demanding the Bandit car. But Pontiac didn't have one, not the version from the movie anyway. So they had to reverse engineer their own creation. Engineers at Pontiac literally sat down to watch the film frame by frame, noting the gold accents, the hoodbird, the trim, and the T-tops, trying to figure out what customers wanted. It was the first time Hollywood dictated design to Detroit. Usually car makers told studios what they could use. This time, the movie told Pontiac what to build. Pontiac followed creating official Bandit Edition Trans Ams to cash in on the phenomenon copies of a copy. And the wildest part, it worked. The Bandit's fake Trans Am became more successful than the real one ever was. That's the beauty of it all, a legend born not from horsepower or engineering, but from illusion creativity, in a bit of cinematic chaos. Those black and gold stunt cars didn't just outrun Sheriff Buford T. Justice. They outran reality itself. And there you have it, 20 unbelievable facts that prove Smokey and the Bandit's Trans Am wasn't just a car, but a Hollywood illusion that changed automotive history. It began as a few modified 76 models pretending to be 1977s, and ended as one of the most beloved movie cars ever made. The Bandit's Trans Am broke rules, physics, and even Pontiac's own marketing logic, all in the name of creating a legend. Those cars were battered, rebuilt, repainted, and ultimately destroyed, but in the process, they became immortal. The black paint, the golden bird, the outlaw attitude, it all fused into something bigger than a film prop. It became an American icon. Decades later, people still dream of driving that car, of flooring it down an empty highway, with Jerry Reed on the radio and a CB mic in hand. Because the Bandit's Trans Am wasn't just about speed, it was about freedom. So the next time you see that gold Firebird spreading its wings across a black hood, remember, you're not just looking at a car. You're looking at a symbol of rebellion, storytelling, and movie magic that refuses to die. Because long after the camera stopped rolling and the legend kept driving,